Markovich. Nailed it. 48, the Grizzlies pick is Javon Small, and at 49, the pick from Duke, Tyrese Proctor. The Knicks pick at 50, Kobe Sanders, the guard from Nevada. So we are all cut up there at that point. 51st pick is now on the clock, and that is the Los Angeles Clippers. So I just gave you guys 5 players. Do we have any one of these that we want to discuss here?
I'll get just some quick housekeeping. Rocco Zikarsky is another NBA Academy guy, so I got to brag on him. He's
fantastic.
Third. Also, the first 18-year-old of the second
round.
Wow. Rocco is an 18-year-old. We got one in the second round. He was the 14th international by way of Australia. Markovich, 15th international from Serbia. Tyrese Proctor, 16th international. Another Aussie from Australia, and I don't know, I've lost track of Duke. Is that 15 or 16 Duke players?
It's the entire roster.
It's
absolutely the entire starting 5. Let's go with that.
Which is definitely saying a lot.
Unbelievable.
Talk about NBA Academy, though, because that is something obviously near and dear to your heart, something you're very proud of, and in past drafts we have discussed the impact it can have and an avenue for some players to get to the
Ben Mathurin, of course, was alive in the finals. Dyson Daniels was the sixth man of the year. No, it was Peyton Pritchard got sixth man of the year. Dyson got most improved. He was a runner-up for the defensive player. We talked to Kaman Malawach, of course, last night. Just an unbelievable guy, unbelievable player. Tyrese is another NBA Academy. He's NBA Global from Australia. Rocco Zikarsky, NBA Global, also from Australia. So it's a fantastic program that I've so lucky to be a part of. And Kaman's the one that I if I'm not mistaken, Kaman started with us when he was 14 or 15 years old in Salih, outside of Senegal.
When he started playing basketball, basically, right?
And just to see how much he's improved in the job that all the coaches, all the people from NBA Academy that have worked with him. It's great to see it come together.
Let me tell you what was great to see. One, when he saw you sitting at the table yesterday, and more importantly, the interaction and him going back and talking about how you have been there from the beginning. And we saw you get emotional. You didn't really you couldn't really talk about it much, but to see him talking, especially after the emotion that he had showed on the stage by waiting till the 10th pick to get drafted. But hearing his name and the pictures that we saw of him with the tears coming out of his eyes. But for us, it was great to see you guys have that moment.
PJ, watching you and how emotional you got seeing that, like you saw this kid just blossom and grow and develop from where he's from. And that's a tribute to all you guys that have gotten involved with these academies to build up basketball and make it a more global sport. Like anything else, anytime you can build a bridge for someone else to cross, that's the greatest thing you can do in life.
Yep.
And that's what you guys have been doing overseas.
He took advantage of it. I'll tell you, he just, to see his growth and such a great individual. And I was blown away about how well he did it. When he signed with Duke, I said, this is going to be good for him. And I'm thinking kind of in the back of my head, I really like Kaman, but Duke, man, that's going to be tough. Man, he just fit right in and was a major contributor on one of the best basketball teams in the country.
And got better all season. I don't know if you guys saw the video of him announcing the players on the bus on their way over to the draft. It was the funniest thing I've ever heard. I mean, like literally, he was going, from where's Wisconsin?
Wisconsin.
What part of Wisconsin?
I think it's Milwaukee.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin, number 4. Nipple. He goes, and then he went to Cooper.
So he's got
Flag.
a future in the business.
It was but you could see, and those guys were laughing, and I mean, to me, that's great. Of the guys that got drafted late, one guy probably no one's going to talk about is Javon Small. Javon Small
going to the Grizzlies.
That's a good one.
Oklahoma State to West Virginia. A terrific, competitive, I won't say undersized, ball guard that can get in the lane. I mean, he made big shots and big plays, had a toughness about him, could guard the basketball. I'm really happy for that kid because he went and kind of rolled the dice on changing schools, and it's really paid off for him. And he's a guy that, has a shot because of his toughness, his ability to guard the ball, and his ability to get in the lane and make plays.
Let me catch everybody up now as the draft is continuing to move on. There's been a swap here at 50 and 51. The Knicks had the pick at 50. The The Clippers had the pick at 51, so we told you the Knicks pick was Kobe Sanders. They're flipping that to the Clippers. The Clippers now get Kobe Sanders. The Knicks pick at 51 is Mohamed Diawara, for another French player, I believe, right, PJ?
Yeah.
And so that's what the Knicks have. So that's how that's going to go with the Knicks pick there. Phoenix is on the clock, but it's actually the Golden State Warriors pick. And as I said, if you can keep up with this, God bless you, because this has been a draft in the first round alone with 10 different players moving from team to team. And here in the second round, where it happens more often, we're just seeing a lot of pick moving as now we're in the later stages of the second round.
I was going to say, you guys better start talking about Kobe Sanders so Alan could brag on his Knick guy, but he wasn't a Knick guy for very long.
Not very long
Now we're talking about from Cholet in France and grew up in Paris. Mohamed Diawara is a talent and a surprise to me. Ends up in New York. Sole pick, no? Only pick?
So far, it's the only pick for them in this draft. And, Pacome Dadier was a pick of theirs in the first round last year, another French player. And we just talk about that, the French invasion of the NBA and how they've developed players. We were discussing that earlier on when we began the second round of the draft.
I got to go back. That's at least, I'm going to say 6, if not 7.
I thought
Frenchmen tonight.
We might be 6 or 7 at this point.
17 total international. It's at least 6 from France and 17 international players.
And with that pick, Spike Lee just walked outside.
Yeah, I did see him.
He's done for the night.
Yeah, I actually.
His work is done.
He came in asking a lot of questions. He left with no answers, although he is still right there behind us. And I was kind of hoping to get him to stop and sit down with us, but then again, you never know what he's going to say. Now, we have I got to keep catching up with some of these picks because we have Golden State was the 52nd pick. Alex Tui, an Australian player.
That's a good player.
And another NBA Academy.
That's another Academy. That means 4 for 4. The 4 Academy guys all got drafted.
6'8".
And Aussie, it's a record. I got to look it up while we're talking.
He's going to Golden State, by the way.
That's a whole bunch of Australians again in the draft. I think the most since I'm going to go back to '97. I think the most Australians that have been drafted the same night.
He's got a floor game. He's a good player. He's fun. That guy's fun to watch.
Oh yeah.
He can pass it. He can shoot it. He has good presence. He's got good size. About 6'7", 6'8". He's a Golden State Warrior.
I was just going to say he's with the right team.
He's with the right team. He's a good cutter. He's a good passer. He plays in space. He's a very good player.
While we are talking about the pick going to the Warriors, where are the Golden State Warriors right now with they made the move for Jimmy Butler. They looked like a team. They ended the season one of the hottest teams in the NBA. Steph Curry gets hurt, and now they've got to see if they can get a full year out of that group with Draymond Green. Is it just simply they need to get some size, they need to get bigger, or they just basically need to be healthy? Could they still be a contender in the West?
What did they do when Steph Curry got hurt? They called upon Jonathan Kuminga, and he answered the bell. Not enough to be able to beat the Minnesota Timberwolves, of course, but he played very well after being benched for the majority of the playoffs. That's the biggest question mark looming above the Golden State Warriors. What do you do with Kuminga? Do you sign and trade him to the Miami Heat, who have a tremendous interest? I'm not sure why he wasn't involved in the package during the midseason trade for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
But as a restricted free agent, there are rules and regulations, and we would need Bobby Marks on here to be able to talk about it. But there are rules and regulations regarding teams that give a qualifying offer. So if the Miami Heat make an offer for Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors match it, they can't trade him for a year.
Yeah.
They cannot trade him to the organization. Right. So it's going to get sticky as to how they deal with the Jonathan Kuminga
situation. Sign and trades
situation.
are a lot harder to do these days than ever before as well because of the rules changes.
Yes.
So it is complicated.
Well, let me ask you this, and PJ, both of you guys this. Jonathan Kuminga has got size, strength, agility, has had breakout-type games. They haven't been able to find a rotation position for him. So, what does he have to do? What is missing in his game? I mean, again, I don't see these guys. You've probably called more Golden State games. I watch him on TV, but if he's not in a game or he gets spot minutes, I don't have a feel for his game.
I'll go with the player perspective, and then I'll ask PJ to go with the coaching perspective. As a player, when you get drafted, and Jonathan Kuminga was the number 7 pick in the draft, you come into the league thinking, I'm going to be an all-star. You're not ready to accept being a role player, and that's what the Warriors have asked for him to do. But
sometimes they've asked him to be more than that, of course.
And he's had times where he's had to be more than that, and he's done it.
And then there were times he didn't play at all.
Right, but he's shown that he can be a superstar, but when he's shown those, do they win? And there's a major difference in a guy that can go up and put up numbers, but a guy that can go put up numbers and win. And that's the thing. He hasn't shown them yet to where he can be the guy. So PJ can answer that more so to the coaching side, but from a player side,
what he can be,
what can you be, and can you be it in Golden State?
Yeah, and the other thing, and a lot of players sometimes think it's a cop-out, but when there's too many hills and valleys with Kuminga. Consistency. Jim Lynam told me a long time ago, like we were talking about a player, and I said, this I didn't play. And he goes, what are you, stupid? Don't you understand? That's the definition of the great players. They do it every night, night in and night out. You can count on them. You know what you're going to get. Jonathan Kuminga has not gotten there yet. Is he talented? Yeah, and you see him some nights, you go, breathtaking talent. But then you see other nights, and I don't think it's not accepting of his role, but it's the consistency that's been lacking. And when you're a coach, there's nothing gives you more confidence in a player than you know what you're going to get when he goes out there. What's the crazy Tom Hanks movie with the box of chocolates?
Forrest Gump.
You don't know what you get. You don't know what you're getting tonight. Jonathan's a box of chocolates. What am I getting tonight? That's not what you want if you're a coach.
Coach is hungry. Coach is hungry. Let's now pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is the 2025 NBA Draft on ESPN Radio, presented by ZipRecruiter.
Utah, John Tonji.
That's a good pick.
All right, we are still in the later stages now of the second round of the NBA Draft. We'll catch you up with the Indiana Pacers on the clock and more. You are listening to the 2025 NBA Draft on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by ZipRecruiter.
Running a business, I've learned that every missed call is a missed opportunity. Before OpenPhone, it was chaos. Missed messages, no follow-ups, no visibility. Now our team calls and texts from a shared number, tracks every conversation, and AI handles calls after hours. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone, and now I get why. Plans start at just $15 a month. Get 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/radio. openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
What would you do if your online store converted 36% more shoppers? You could take 36% more vacation.
Another pina colada? Yes, please.
Open a new retail location with 36% more square feet.
Fantastic.
Hire 36% more help.
You're hired and you're hired.
Shopify has the world's best converting checkout, up to 36% better than other e-commerce platforms. What you do with those extra sales is up to you. Switch to Shopify today at shopify.com/streaming and get a $1 trial. Shopify.com/streaming.
Here's a question. Have you ever been prescribed a medication? Most likely, yes. Well, what about this question? Did you understand how it worked? The way your medication works in your body shouldn't be a mystery. Learn how Vyvgart, Efgartigimod Alpha FCAB works by visiting vyvgart.com/MOA. That's VYVGART.com/MOA. Brought to you by argenx.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Fridays, I help you get ready for the weekend. The biggest stories of the week, as only First Take can present them. We start at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
This weekend on ESPN Radio. It's an AL Central, NL Central showdown.
Arenado throws to first in time. What a play.
Nolan Arenado leads the St. Louis Cardinals into Cleveland to face Jose Ramirez and the Guardians. The Cardinals at the Guardians.
Saturday is game day, yeah.
Coverage begins Saturday at 3:30 Eastern with first pitch at 4:10 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Presented by Progressive Insurance.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 317, Saturday. It's International Fight Week, live from Las Vegas, headlined by 2 title fights. The lightweight championship is on the line as Ilia Topuria takes on Charles Oliveira, and reigning flyweight champion Alexandre Pantoja defends his title against Kai Kara France. UFC 317, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
The Baseball Tonight podcast.
It's all Shohei Ohtani telling the Dodgers when he wants to pitch. And everybody else, with Cy Young Award winners, they all fall in line.
The Baseball Tonight podcast is on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts. Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The organization could present Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett or Dylan Gabriel as a better option to the rest of the world. But you know who they can't lie to? The guys in the locker room that see all those quarterbacks every single day. And if Shedeur Sanders proves to be the best option, Shedeur Sanders will be the week 1 quarterback. And from a talent standpoint, Shedeur Sanders has more talent in that quarterback room than anybody that's in there right now.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekday morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2. This is the NBA Draft on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Into the latter stages of the second round here at the Barclays Center with Corey Alexander, PJ Carlissimo, and Seth Greenberg. I'm Alan Hotz. Let's catch you up. The Utah Jazz made a pick at 53. John Tonje is the pick there from Wisconsin. At 54, this one caught everybody by surprise. The Indiana Pacers. It's Talon Peter from Liberty. Australia. And the picks keep coming. The Chicago Bulls will pick using the Lakers pick at 55. Pick being made right now. We'll catch up on that.
But we actually have some intel on Talon Peter, who played for my guy Richie McKay at Liberty University.
I knew you'd know.
Oh, we got to we go to the source. So I went to Richie. I said, tell me something to talk about Talon. We don't have any information. He simply says he's a great kid, but he chose to continue to come off the bench because he didn't want any of the starters to lose confidence if he started in their place. Kept getting better and better throughout the season. At the end, arguably was the best player in the league and one of the best-kept secrets in the country. And absolutely has been the best-kept secret in this draft.
Yes.
But played well enough for Richie McKay at Liberty to be able to find his name called in the second round.
How about the job Richie's doing?
Oh,
what a great,
I go back to Portland State when I was at Portland.
Oh, I know. He's made it very clear. He tells me all about that.
We can't talk about that.
Well, how about the Pacers just in general? You talk about a player that's used to coming off the bench. Their strength as they got to the NBA Finals was their depth and the fact that they have guys that would come off the bench that they had so many different lineups. And, of course, the heartbreak of Tyrese Halliburton's injury with the Achilles in Game 7 really put a damper on that NBA Finals series. You know, the Pacers' depth. We talk about how the Thunder, are they the new blueprint? What Rick Carlisle and the Indiana Pacers did there, Kevin Pritchard and company, like what they've built there also feels like the new way to win in the NBA. Would you say, Seth?
Yeah, collect draft choices, use some in trade, and do a good job of evaluating. And big thing is evaluating. And, to me, the one thing about these guys down the end, they're going to be older guys and they're going to be guys that are fit guys. This guy's a big-time three-point shooter with legitimate size at 6'4", average, making almost 3 3-point shots a game, shot over 40%. So, obviously Indiana saw something in him, right, Corey, that says, you know what? Size, release, versatility, great teammate, character guy. He's worth a swing at that number, right?
But I think absolutely all of that. But I think when you're Kevin Pritchard and, of course, Rick Carlisle's influence, you're looking for guys, to Coach McKay's point, that can be productive coming off the bench. Again, to PJ's point about making sure that your guys are consistent and you're getting a consistent effort each and every night, I'll be the first to tell you, if I started a game, I was a truly legit NBA player. But if I had to come off the bench, I was the box of chocolates that PJ's talking about. You don't know what you're going to get. I mean, some nights I'm 20+, but other nights it's almost like, why did we even put him in the game? And I understand that. And that was something that drove Pop crazy because he didn't always know what he was going to get from me coming off the bench. And let's be honest, Seth, my gift was my offense. I could defend. But it wasn't my primary choice. It wasn't my choice.
Let me guess. You were a better defender when you were scoring, right?
I was a better defender when I was on the floor more.
When you were making shots.
On the floor more when I was making shots.
100%.
Well, for the Pacers, next season is going to be very interesting in how they really approach what they do. And one thing they did say at the end of the year is that they want to prioritize re-signing Miles Turner, who has really emerged into one of the top centers in the game with his ability to 3 and D. The 55th pick in the draft is in. That will go from the Lakers to the Bulls. Lachlan Olbrich, coach, and another Aussie.
Another Aussie. That's well, I said the record.
6'9".
First time they'd had 3 since '97. Now it's 4. So I've got no idea how far back we have to go for that. And just to make the point, while we have another international player, that's the 19th, by the way, that we have. Something that both the Pacers and the OKC Thunder do is recruit internationally also. Think Andrew Nembhard, think Ben Mathurin, think SGA, think Lou Dort. There's a whole bunch of
not going too far, just going north
on those two teams.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see if Ryan Nembhard gets
Johnny Furphy, and now we got another Aussie going.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because Ryan Nembhard, who obviously played for Gonzaga, he had a great combine. And if you want a guy that can get you in offense, initiate offense, distribute the basketball, make good decisions, low turnover guy, I would not be shocked if he's going to be one of these final picks.
Well, the 56th pick is on the clock right now, the Memphis Grizzlies. We only have 4 picks left in this draft, so we'll continue to catch you up on all the picks to finish it up. And will, again, Ryan Nembhard be one of those picks to join his brother in the NBA? We'll get to that and more, so stay with us. This is the 2025 NBA Draft on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, presented by ZipRecruiter.
This is Joe and Q.
Durant ends up in Houston because there's no alpha he has to worry about contending with. In Minnesota, that's Anthony Edwards' team. In New York with the Knicks, that's Jalen Brunson's team. Houston's the pick because he can show up, he can be the number 1 superstar, he can be the A-side, he doesn't have to worry about the whole, how come I'm not as loved as Steph Curry is.
Joe and Q, weekdays from noon to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. Hey, did you miss Clinton and Friends?
The Celtics have been pushed to the brink. The Nuggets are talking about trading Jokic. The second apron feels like some level of the Grim Reaper for NBA teams. And right before draft day, this is, in a word, chaotic at best. I can't believe I'm hearing this. The Celtics got to go? They got to dump everybody? I mean, we knew it was coming, but now it's here.
Clinton and Friends, weekdays from 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You give me like a dry rub and a chicken wing, I'm good. You give me barbecue sauce and a chicken wing, I'm good. Ranch and blue cheese, nah, you can put that over there.
I didn't take it for you to like it dry, not your chicken wings.
It depends on who's making them, though. Now, my mother's making them. That's all you need.
Okay.
Maddie Coleman or Denise Coleman, my wife, are making them. That's all you need. You don't need extras.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Love Friday edition of Freddie and Harry. We know that you love the NBA and the NHL, but it's not around anymore. So we're going to make sure you have all the love you need for Major League Baseball and the WNBA, because that's what we do on Love Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Freddie and Harry and ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
The Hoop Collective Podcast.
This trade is fine for Phoenix. The reason I've been saying this is the worst situation in the history of the league for a while is because of the cavernous hole that the Suns are in. And yes, this is the beginning of starting to dig out of the hole, but they're still at the bottom of the Grand Canyon.
The Hoop Collective Podcast. Listen on the ESPN app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
The United States Deputy Sheriff's Association is a national nonprofit and the largest non-governmental provider of services to law enforcement. The USDSA assists city, county, state, and federal agencies with free safety equipment donations and officer survival training, along with cash donations to families of law enforcement officers who perish in the line of duty, college scholarships for the children of law enforcement, a citizen awareness program, and more. For more information on the USDSA and how you can help, visit usdeputy.org.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
Small's here. It's time to turn things up a notch. This summer, don't binge watch shows. Binge s'mores by the campfire. Press pause on the podcast and press play on the warm weather vibes. Here's your chance to win $10,000 for your ultimate summer. What are you waiting for? Take your shot with 5-Hour Energy and make this summer your best summer ever. Visit 5heshot.com for full details and rules and enter today. No purchase necessary. Ends June 30th, 2025.
The best mornings
in the morning light.
Start with Wrangler.
Pull on my jeans and I feel all right.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Oh, I can't believe we blew a 5-touchdown lead.
Sure, but you got to feel like they were going to win for almost the entire game.
But I was about to buy playoff tickets.
So you were prepared for a good time. That's pretty nice.
It's the worst loss any team has ever had.
And you got to witness history.
Okay, we're done here.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696. And manage your diabetes as easy as...
You're listening to the NBA Draft on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
All right, we're down to the final 3 picks of the second round of the 2025 NBA Draft here on ESPN Radio with Corey Alexander, PJ Carlissimo, and Seth Greenberg. I'm Alan Hahn. So the Memphis Grizzlies made the pick at 56. I believe this is also going to the Warriors. It's Will Richard.
National champion. 6'4", big-time shooter, strong, can really, really defend, understands how to play on and off the ball, and you know, championship pedigree and toughness. I mean, you think Elijah Martin, you think Will Richard, you think Walter Clayton.
You think Gary Payton II?
Yeah.
So when you start talking about a guy like Will Richard, you think about
finding your way.
And that's the thing, when you look at an NBA organization, you start looking at guys, who can we get to be the next guy like this?
Yeah,
when you have that culture already created,
yeah,
and you bring them in, you allow them to play in your G League organization for a while, but they watch, and they're daily learning from those veterans who, of course, aren't going to be there forever. And now you can plug and play those guys when there's an injury. You give those guys opportunities to be able to play in the big club, and all of a sudden you find out if you have a true NBA player or not.
Yeah, Elijah Martin's like that guy.
Well, I hate to say it, too, because you have a tendency to forget about G League players. Guess what, guys? It's sink or swim. If you don't impress the team, because in the beginning there was a stigma when what was it before the G League?
The D League.
The D League.
The NBDL.
Then the G League. Players didn't want to go down, and guys at the rehab never went down. Finally, basketball realized, let's do it like they do it in baseball and use it.
True
and
minor
now,
leagues.
They find out. If you've got warts, they know about it. But if you've got things you can deliver, they know about that too. Some guys you forget about, but some guys thrive in the G League for a while. They wait their time because they have to, and they're ready when they're called upon.
And if you go down there and have the wrong attitude,
no, you're gone.
Yeah. Well, you consider now a third of the guys in the NBA have had G League experience. We talk about, I mean, you talk about Joker.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about the best of the best who have actually played in the G League. And think about Klay Thompson coming back from his injuries. Where does he go? Santa Cruz, to work out with the G League team to start getting some reps to get him back. The same thing with Anthony Davis. He went with the Texas Legends to be able to go get himself prepared to come back to the Dallas Mavericks. So, again, it's a great resource to have.
What team goes on a road trip? Like a team goes on a 6-7 day road trip, and you got a guy that's close. Sending him on the road in the hotel's not doing him any good at all. Stay at home. Go. The teams that are really fortunate, like a Washington or like OKC, when it's the same building or across the street, that's a tremendous luxury to have. It's a huge plus when your G League team is right there, and you can go up and down. And I mean, guys sometimes practice in the morning G League, and somebody gets hurt, and they call him up. Boom, he's there.
And this is the first year we've just completed the first season where every NBA team, all 30 NBA teams, have a G League affiliate, and so it was a monumental year for the G.
It is really an amazing thing that you have to develop, and the development of players from programs like Duke University, certainly they benefit, and so does the NBA. And the head coach of Duke is joining us right now, Jon Scheyer. And quite another day for Duke, or 2 days for Duke basketball when you consider the amount of draft picks you send to the league. Coach, congratulations for that. What does it mean for the program?
Thank you. Well, it's an incredible feeling. Just for me, I'm proud of the fact that these guys really embraced what they had to do in order to win. And because of that, they've also had great individual success. And I think it's a great lesson. And to see Sion and Tyrese go tonight, Cooper, Con, and Kaman last night, it's a dream come true for me, and I know for all of them.
John, thanks a lot for coming on. I really appreciate it. Sion James, I mean, pretty incredible journey for him.
Yeah. He's Seth, he just is he couldn't shoot coming out of high school. His body was developed, and he was a really good guard, but just had to really work so consistently every day at Tulane just to learn how to shoot, and the coaching staff did a great job there. He did a great job of just developing. And then I thought the role he played for us was so unique. He's switching 1 through 5. He's protecting the rim. He's guarding other players, guards. He's initiating offense for us. He's shooting almost 40 from 3. I just thought his connectivity, his toughness, translates to what he's going to be asked to do in the NBA. And so was an incredible get for us. And for him to go 33 to Charlotte, come on, man. How good is that?
Incredible. John PJ, you know the guy that I'm going to brag on is Kaman, but I'll be honest with you, I did not envision him being a one and done. When you guys first got on him, or even when he first came and started working out with you, could you envision him going this quickly?
I thought there was a really good chance just because of how many 7'2" guys are there in the world, and then how many 7'2" guys can move like he can, and I think you see the upside. But when I knew he was going to be here for 1 year was really just when I saw his motor, his physicality, and the person that he is. He just lights up the room every day in practice, as you know, PJ. And I think more and more teams value those things, and I think that really helped come on as he was, again towards the end of the draft process.
So I'm not going to introduce myself as I'm not asking a question. I'm going to tell you guys a story. It was a early February Saturday in Clemson, South Carolina, and one Coach Shire looks at Tyrese and he says, "Tyrese, do you trust me?" Tyrese says, "Yes." He knocks down a 30-footer. Then he says, "Sion, do you trust me?" And they say, "Yes." He knocks down a 30-footer. He continues to go through this, and I'll be honest with you, it was a pretty nice shooting display until he lied to all his players, and he says, "I'm the best shooter in this gym." Now, he was looking in my direction. I don't know why. I don't know why he was looking at me and he had to be so boisterous about it. But when your entire starting five gets drafted, are you still the best shooter in the gym, Coach?
I said best shooter, not best player, Corey. All right,
Hey, John, I just want to know if Kaman has ever introduced you in the player introductions, because I listened to his player introductions on the bus yesterday when he introduced Khan and Cooper and himself, and that dude could take over for the introductions for your games at Cameron next year, because it was unbelievable.
Yeah, he's one of a kind. He imitates our strength coach. I know he imitates me. He probably does it behind my back. He hasn't done it to my face. And he can announce every single player on our team. So I've heard him do the announcement for me. I haven't heard him do the imitation, but I know he can, and I know he does.
Hey, Johnny, you're going to sleep good. And I'm being serious. You got to be so proud. It's absolutely incredible. But like lay down and go, those guys are all gone. It's unbelievable. They were hardly there. They're gone. I got to start all over again.
For me, it was so surreal. And I think the thing that gets missed, especially in the second round, you guys know this, but the fact that Sion and Tyrese, they're on the roster. These aren't two-ways, and those are few and far between in the second round. And so the fact that, we have five guys, not just drafted, but five guys on a roster is a huge deal. I'll be honest, I'm not going to sleep that well because as I'm at the draft last night, I'm seeing Cooper walk up there, I'm seeing Khan walk up, and come on, I'm like, all right, I don't have them anymore either. And then I got to practice today, and I see the Boozers, I see Dame Sarr, I see Caleb Foster, I see these guys, Isaiah Evans coming back. And I can sleep better now after working out with these guys. But it was
that's some dudes right there now.
They don't rebuild it, Duke. They reload. That's what's happening there. Duke coach John Shire joining us right now during the second round of the NBA draft. And while everybody's talking around Cooper Flagg, I'm going right forward, Coach, because as he reaches the number one pick in the draft, he's going to Dallas, and everybody now wants to talk about the origin story that they have with Cooper Flagg. But I know Brian Scalabrine very well. And Scal brags about him and has been bragging about him for the last couple of years. What was the connection that you had with Scal and Cooper Flagg and the introduction that you had to him?
Well, I hate even talking about this because I hate giving Scal any credit at all. but he did text me. I thought he was a little bit crazy when he's telling me if this 14-year-old is made to play at Duke. We're very blessed to get those messages from time to time. And I tried telling Scal we don't recruit 14-year-olds. And then I watched Cooper the next summer, and I said, we do recruit 14-year-olds. So Scal was right. He came through.
Wait a second. Scal got you Cooper, and your dad got you Knipple. Who'd you recruit?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody. You're coming to find out. Yeah.
John, you had Cooper for a year. You had Khan for a year. You had Common for a year. You had Sion for a year. But we've talked a lot over the last 3 years about your relationship with Tyrese. You've got to be extremely proud of the development of this young man. And he took a chance on you in your first year. He reclassed up to come join you in your first year coaching. Is there a little extra there with that relationship with Tyrese?
Yeah, there is. I mean, the 3-year journey, to be honest, Corey, I don't know how much more I'm going to get that or have that opportunity, it's just in the climate that we're in. And so when you have it, you cherish it. He took a gamble on me. I took a gamble on him coming here a year early. And I think it's a great lesson, like he could have easily left any of the years he was here, but I don't think he was well prepared at that time. Like he needed to develop more. And even though, some may look at a number of 49, he would have gone earlier if this was about getting drafted. It was about being in the right spot. And I think Cleveland's an amazing opportunity for him with their, roster the way it is, a winning organization. And he's ready. So I couldn't be more proud of him. My first 3 years coaching, I've had him every year. So this will be my first time not having Tyrese on the roster.
Absolutely, and I can't wait to get there this fall and talk about Tyrese Proctor being a Cavalier. I love it.
You need help.
Hey, Corey,
something in the nickname. I wonder what it is.
Sometimes
Corey,
we just have to
I'm
ignore
happy
Corey.
to put this best shooter thing to rest. When you come to town, I'm happy me and you can shoot. Like I'm good. We can do this. We can get our social
You already
media
know I
team.
got a
I'm
hip
all
replacement lined up for August 29th. We'll have to do it next year.
Great job, John.
Oh,
yeah. How well
we started the draft with a Dookie. We end with a Dookie. Cooper Flagg, number 1, and of course, Coach Jon Scheyer joining us to close out the draft. Thanks so much for the time. All the best.
Appreciate you, John.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Thanks, guys.
All right, and the draft is completed as the final 3 picks were made. The Boston Celtics have the pick 57 from the Magic, Max Shulga. The Cavaliers, as you mentioned, Corey, the Cleveland Cavaliers had pick 58. Salu Niang was the pick there, and the final pick of the draft. Remember, there's not 60 picks in this draft. There's one fewer, so 59th pick is the final pick. The Rockets are trading that pick to the Grizzlies. Jamal Mashik. So that is the final pick of the draft. We have some names that did not get called, guys, to discuss wrapping up the draft and what we think about it going forward. But a lot of teams did well, and a lot of college programs also. Rutgers, Duke, several of them had really, really big drafts these last couple of nights.
Yeah, it's been terrific. But, I mean, the guys that didn't get drafted now get a chance to select where they want to go for Summer League. Their agents are going to try to find the best situation, the best opportunity. So sometimes it's better not to get drafted when you get to that bottom rung to see if you can pick a place where maybe you can play yourself into a two-way or a roster spot.
Eric Dix, I'm looking at the list.
Villanova.
Exactly. Vlad Golden.
Who had a terrific
Ryan
year.
Nembhard.
Ryan Nembhard.
Some pretty talented players.
Dixon had a monster season.
Yeah.
He led the country in scoring.
Yeah.
And so, but again, to Coach's point, you can almost find a tailor-made spot for you. And all of those guys right now are on the phone because they're trying to determine. I mean, we talked with Tom James on the way in. San Antonio starts their Summer League training camp on Sunday.
Yep.
And so guys are signing deals right now, and some even started after they took their last pick, making calls to these prospective free agents and guys who are they're going to try to sign for their Summer League team, which would eventually be Exhibit 10 deals or two-ways, as you talked about. So not getting drafted is not the worst thing in the world. It gives you an opportunity to kind of find a tailor-made spot.
And, Corey, as you know, and Seth's there every year broadcasting it, sometimes they start Summer League with one team and they end up with another team. So the Summer League is an opportunity to begin. You don't always end up with the same team like we're doing the games the second week. It's a different roster. It's an opportunity. That's all you want.
That's all you can ask for.
I'll warm them up for you. You'll get them the last 3 days.
Yeah. Well, I'll get them for the last week. You get the first 3 days.
Well, this was the first time we've had the 2 rounds, and now we've had it last year on 2 different nights. This year, the first time it's in the same location here at the Barclays Center. Guys, thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun.
Thank you, Al. Great job.
And we really, again, the conversation's been great, but we'll see now where we go forward with this draft and where the NBA goes from here. The 2025 NBA Draft on ESPN Radio has been presented by ZipRecruiter. If you need to hire for your business in 2025 and want an easier way to find qualified candidates, use ZipRecruiter. Try it free at ZipRecruiter.com/sports. So, for Corey Alexander, PJ Carlissimo, Seth Greenberg, the guys that carried me for 2 days, they all going to need some back massages for sure. Producer Beth Faber, who was fantastic, program director Pete Saccone, and engineer Dave Sniff, who kept us online both days. I'm Alan Hahn. Thank you for listening to the 2025 NBA Draft on ESPN Radio.
Hi, I'm Dorina, co-founder of OpenPhone. My dad is a business owner, and growing up, he always kept his ringtone super loud so he'd never miss a customer call. OpenPhone gives your team business phone numbers to call and text all in one shared workspace, and our AI agent answers 24/7 so you never miss a customer. Over 60,000 businesses use OpenPhone. Get 20% off at openphone.com/radio. OpenPhone. No missed calls, no missed customers.
You didn't start a business just to keep the lights on. You're here to sell more today than yesterday. You're here to win. Lucky for you, Shopify built the best converting checkout on the planet. Like the just one tapping, ridiculously fast acting, sky-high sales stacking, champion of checkouts. That's the good stuff right there. So if your business is in it to win it, win with Shopify. Start your free trial today at shopify.com/win.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
With the first pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Dallas Mavericks select Cooper Flagg from Duke University.
I feel like I have a chance that not a lot of guys in my position have had. And then just to be around those type of guys every single day, in the gym, just to be able to learn. I want to be a sponge. I want to learn as much as I can. So I'm really excited for that.
You get him with the #1 overall pick. Suddenly, your franchise seems not just on stable ground, but destined for ascension.
Yeah, draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still?
Not just draft 1 night, 2 nights. Draft night over on the NBA. 59 picks in the books. Some trades, maybe not as many as some thought. And we're here to react to all of it right here on game night. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is David Dennis Jr. right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80, presented by Progressive Insurance. 2 nights of the NBA Draft, 59 picks when it's all said and done. Professional basketball players, David, and I think it's obviously just so... It's one of the best parts of any of the drafts, right? To hear the kids, to talk about their family, the journey they've been on, to now call themselves professional basketball players. And, some intrigue, and I think that's with the first night, we all knew Cooper Flagg was going #1, and, probably all knew that Dylan Harper was going 2. Like, that happens from draft to draft, but... the buzz last night, people said there were not as many picks as we thought. Mm-hmm. You get into day 2 and still some big names out there. I think the biggest thing for me watching the second round was seeing a lot of names that you saw in March Madness or teams that were Final Four teams or pushed for national championships. So you saw a lot of those names. And, you got the standard up there of, all right, well, this pick has been traded or this player's been traded. So we got a little bit more of that in day 2, but still a draft where you had some generational type talent going in the top half yesterday.
Yeah, to your first point about like how cool the draft is, like I don't know about if you're a wrestling fan, big wrestling fan. I love WrestleMania. And one of the reasons I love WrestleMania is because you get to watch people's dreams come true, right?
Yeah.
And draft night is about these kids who are dreaming of being in the NBA. And sometimes we can become sort of, a little hardened by this, towards the way we talk about the NBA and stuff. But these are kids who are realizing their dreams live for us to all see. And it's just a really, really cool thing. That's my favorite part of the draft. All the other stuff works out how it works out. The picks, the drafts, the grades for all that. We could parse that out, which we will be doing tonight. But for me, it's just a bunch of kids, their parents, the ugly crying, the snotty crying, all that stuff, and the emotion that comes with it. That's the stuff I love.
It is. It's fun. And then when you get the quick interview to talk about where they came from, maybe their parent was an athlete, or they talked, they did it live with VJ Edgecombe, who went 3rd overall to Philly, and he kind of zoomed in from Philly. And I know you saw the same thing, and didn't come from anything. And he talked about his mom and how much love he had for her and the sacrifices that she made for him to get there, to be the 3rd overall pick now in the NBA draft. That's the stuff, too, that matters. And these players, again, not just on top of the fact that these great stories, but we're seeing the next wave. You're seeing the next wave of hopefully NBA superstars. We'll talk a lot of Cooper Flagg from that. But, again, I really just kind of getting ready for last night and even this past, round 2, which happened tonight, to see some of the names that were left out there. Mark Sears not drafted. Ryden Nembhard out of Gonzaga wasn't drafted. Caleb Love signing a 2-way contract after going undrafted with the Portland Trailblazers. There was a lot of talent to be had. And I think there's going to be some names we're going to be hearing for quite some time in the NBA.
Yeah, I kept thinking as the draft was going, I kept thinking about the finals that we just had. And Jalen Williams, J-Dub, who dropped 40 in the finals, a guy who was picked a couple years ago. And when he was picked, not a lot of fanfare. OKC taking a flyer on a guy. We'll see what happens. Of course, we didn't think that was much to talk about OKC in general at the time. But you draft him, and next thing you know, because I think he went, 12th or something like that? Next thing you know, a couple years later, this dude is in the conversation for MVP for the finals. And one of these kids, multiple of these kids who just got drafted tonight, will have these star-making moments. Whether it's Cooper Flagg, all the way down to somebody who's 40th in the 40th pick or whatever. Somebody is going to become a superstar and have even further dreams come true, and we'll have the stars that we know, but there will be people who will surprise us, and I think that's one of the cool things we got coming too.
The other thing that we'll touch on as we get on going here with Game Night ESPN Radio is David Dennis Jr. I'm Matt Fontana, and I'm really excited to talk about this later, about the impact of the apron on this draft, because it was discussed, and by the way, shout out to the ESPN crew that was on. It was so fun just to listen to Bob and Wendy, and Bobby and Shams and Malika, and everybody just did such a fantastic job, and they really had quite a few conversations throughout the evening talking about how some of these teams, they're not even making picks. The Thunder had to trade their picks away because they didn't even have any room to draft a player and keep them on their roster, or these teams are making these types of moves, and just how that impact goes on, because the apron has become the biggest – it's become the biggest story in the NBA. One way or another. It's become completely massive on this team can keep these players together, this team can. And David, it happened to the draft tonight. It did, because there were a lot of discussions about what teams can and can't do when it comes to drafting because of the aprons.
Look, you have the owner of the Denver Nuggets doing a press conference talking about he doesn't quite understand the apron, and maybe they'll have to trade Jokic if there's a big injury. The apron is essentially the league adjusting to what is pretty much a hard cap and how they create rosters based off of that. And some people are going to sink or swim when it comes to the GMs and how they figure out how to make rosters. And we saw that in the draft. Some people made some horrible decisions, which we'll discuss, and some people set themselves up really well for the future.
It is, and I think there's going to be that learning curve as teams need to figure out exactly where they're at, what that sweet spot is, and how it's going to impact the draft, free agency, all of it, and we're in the infancy of just figuring it all out. Well, coming up, one of the biggest stories from the draft was Ace Bailey. Was drafted yesterday, but we got some more information that came to light today about his draft process. We're going to dive into all that and how it works out for him and the Jazz next. Just getting started tonight, NBA Draft wrapping up here on Game Night, ESPN Radio.
This Sunday on ESPN Radio, it's a free agency frenzy. Join Tim Bontemps and me, Evan Cohen, as we get you ready for a wild free agency season in the NBA.
You're going to see some people move some places that could potentially trigger other deals that become fascinating.
NBA free agency frenzy Sunday, 5 to 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
Friday on Joe and Q. Now that the dust has settled on the NBA draft, we turn our attention to free agency. Which teams can build a championship roster in the next week? Joe and Q, 12 to 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
From Marvel Television, I'm executive producer Ryan Coogler.
Y'all calling me crazy? I want to build something iconic.
Experience the 6-episode event.
That iron suit is the ultimate display of power. I'm going to take it.
Absolutely not.
Now streaming on Disney+.
Riri, this is serious. This power does not come without risk.
Might be a hero in there after all.
Marvel Television's Ironheart. Now streaming only on Disney+.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen. Coming up Friday, we wrap up all the draft talk and get you ready for what's going to be a wild free agency period in the NBA. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
There's probably one really true thing about restaurants. You are never alone.
FX presents The Bear.
How do we keep this place open?
We're going to figure it out. I'm fired up, ready to go.
Showtime! Chef!
The acclaimed series returns.
Our flour budget is crazy.
I blame my elegance.
Sometimes your work family is part of your family, if you're lucky.
FX's The Bear. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
Amber and Ian.
Okay, all right, fine. We're going to do everybody's trying to win the Super Bowl thing. But realistically, your plan isn't the 41-year-old guy at the quarterback position coming off of an Achilles, right, and everything that's happened. And coming off, frankly, of that last season in Green Bay, your plan isn't bringing in that guy to win a Super Bowl and realistically thinking it's going to happen and having no plan after him either.
Amber and Ian. Weeknights at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on SiriusXM Channel 80. This is Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
You give me like a dry rub and a chicken wing, I'm good. You give me barbecue sauce and a chicken wing, I'm good. Ranch and blue cheese, nah, you can put that over there.
I didn't take it for you to like it dry, not your chicken wings.
It depends on who's making them, though. Now, my mother's making them. That's all you need.
Okay.
Maddie Coleman or Denise Coleman, my wife, are making them. That's all you need. You don't need extras.
Check out more from Freddie and Harry weekdays at 3 Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
We can't get enough of the WNBA. A fresh draft class has arrived.
Dallas Wings select Paige Beckers.
Teams stacked with new talent.
Jules a complete dog.
The Valkyries take flight in the Bay.
Ridiculous!
We've got more stars and more heat than ever. WNBA on ESPN, presented by Google. We can't get enough.
With the 5th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Arius Ace Bailey from Rutgers University.
The little kid in me smiling hard right now because I know the hard work, the sacrifices, the blood, the sweat, the tears, not just from me, but my family put into this. So I'm just blessed to be here.
This was not one of his preferred destinations, Utah. He was hoping to get to either Washington, New Orleans, or Brooklyn. The Utah Jazz selected Ace Bailey knowing that.
You always got to have a little drama as we get ready to go in any draft, and sometimes players, they don't like where they get drafted. You know, we talked about the excitement that their professional basketball players, a dream come true, but for Ace Bailey, He had a list of places, and was Utah on it? I don't know. It's game night right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN app, and SiriusXM Channel 80, presented by Progressive Insurance. He's David Dennis Jr. I'm Matt Fontana. So if you didn't know, getting ready to go for the draft yesterday, we just caught up on who Ace Bailey is. He's a Rutgers player, very talented young man, and projected to be a very high pick in the NBA draft yesterday. Now, the interesting thing was, leading up to the NBA draft, there were reports out that he had canceled workouts, specifically with the Philadelphia 76ers and then with a couple other teams that he just declined to work out with. And there were some reports that he kind of maybe had a list here and there of where he was trying to go to pick where he wanted to go. And before we get into kind of the update that we got today, David, it's like Ace Bailey's skill set, I know he went 5. There was a lot of people that thought he might go 3. VJ Edcombe had a lot of the betting odds in ESPN Bet even for him to go there. But, the guy's a top 5 pick. He's supremely and uber talented. There was just kind of this stuff that was hanging over top of this, too, about the canceled workouts and if he'd be happy where he got drafted.
Yeah, that was there. And Utah said, I don't care, which I think is the right move. That is the thing to do. Ace Bailey has been and he has every right to do this, trying to determine where he goes, manipulate where he goes, and go to a certain team. A lot of people have done this. This is not anything totally new. It's more rare, I think, in the NBA than it is, say, in the NFL. But you're still, the Jazz still, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? The Jazz are going to pick you, and I think that sometimes in the NBA, teams, owners are so reluctant to just say, so what? What are you going to do? And you're a rookie. What are you going to do? You're going to show up. You're going to not play. You're going to threaten to lose a second big contract because everybody knows when you're a rookie, you're playing for that second contract. You're going to jeopardize that. Then you're going to go to Utah. You're going to play, and then you're going to have a franchise with the Danny Ainge, with the personnel there that's going to make you kind of, want to play there. And I think that's their job, and I think they're going to work this thing out.
The update today from Ace Bailey. Leading up to the draft, Ace Bailey's representatives informed a team drafting inside the top 5 that they didn't want that team to select the Rutgers wing and that he would not report to that team if they did. That is sources telling ESPN today. Now, Omar Cooper is Ace Bailey's agent, and he talked about the whole process leading up to it, saying every NBA team watched Ace work out in Chicago. He did 18 interviews. Everyone got his medical. They watched him run and jump. They got his measurements. No one said anything when Davion Mitchell canceled a workout with the Toronto Raptors. No one criticized Evan Mobley when he didn't work out for Cleveland, and they drafted him anyway. There's nothing uncommon about how Ace Bailey's pre-draft process was handled. That, again, was Omar Cooper, Ace Bailey's agent. And, David, I'm not going to push back on what he's saying there because he's right. Canceled workouts happen. Canceled flights happen. It's more the notion of do not draft me. Right. Don't draft me. I don't want to go here. And he said one team in the top 5. Well, that was Dallas. He wasn't going there. It was the Spurs. He was most likely very much not going there. I don't even think he was going to go to the 76ers there. So it's basically down to 2 teams. He either told the Hornets or the Jazz. Those are the only 2 teams left in the top 5. One of them he didn't want to go to. 50-50 shot? Was it Utah? I don't know. And if it was, that's pretty awkward. Now, off of that, Jazz owner Ryan Smith, he joined the Pat McAfee show earlier today, and he was asked about Ace Bailey maybe not wanting to play for his organization. Here's Ryan Smith, Jazz owner.
All I saw was a kid who was humble. He was grateful. He was excited to be in the NBA. And I think that's all you can ask for from our standpoint. Naturally, probably doesn't have a lot of experience out west here with Utah. That's our job, to go make him love it. I'm confident in our state. I know that, he'll feel love like he's never felt before. People are fired up to have him. And reality is there's nothing that Ace and others can't accomplish here.
That was Ryan Smith, the owner of the Jazz on the McAfee show today. And, David, he's talking about that Ace Bailey might think it's too cold in Utah. Like, I don't think he doesn't want to go there because of the weather. He doesn't want to go because he doesn't feel good about the organ. Allegedly, maybe, potentially. I shouldn't put that out there. I don't know if it was Utah, but, like, if he had trepidation, I'm assuming it's, you know, the guys on the court, front office, things like that.
Yeah, and Ace Bailey and this team's got to know that 9 times out of 10, if you're going as high as he's going, you're going to a bad team and an organization that's struggling. So, like, that's just part of what it is. The Jazz are going to figure it out. I think that all of this sort of stuff he was doing was a little bit of grandstanding. He's not actually going to go as far as he said. They feel like he's, you know, they want him there. He'll be there. They'll figure it out. Yeah, well, speaking of guy being somewhere, Cooper Flagg going to be there with the Dallas Mavericks. Does that make them a threat out west? We'll discuss it next here on Game Night.
Hey, it's Michelle Smallman, and coming up Friday, we'll react to the second round of the NBA Draft and get you ready for the launch of SportsCenter 50 States in 50 Days. It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone, group chat, smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Friday edition of Freddie and Harry. We know that you love the NBA and the NHL, but it's not around anymore. So we're going to make sure you have all the love you need for Major League Baseball and the WNBA, because that's what we do on Love Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app.
Welcome to the show. Buckle up. It's about to get loud here. Where MLB stars flash unimaginable power. Wow. Unreal stuff. How good is this guy? And endless entertainment. Unbelievable.